Today I'm reviewing my entire matcha collection and telling you if I would repurchase them, yes or no, and why. If you're new to my channel, hi, I'm Michelle and I love matcha. This is my entire matcha collection that I've collected over like the past year. Most of these are empty. I've just been holding onto the tins for this video. So I have this little Matcha Monday series that I do on my Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube shorts, where every Monday I talk about something matcha related. And last week I went through all of my matchas and did a rapid fire yes or no if I would repurchase them, but I didn't give any explanation. So that's what this video is for. I'm going to be going through all of them, telling you again if I would repurchase them or not and why. So we have a lot to go through, so let's get started. So before we start, I want to tell you some things about me first to give you a better idea of like the things that I'm looking for in the matcha, a little bit about my matcha journey. So how long have I been drinking matcha? I've been drinking it since like 2021, so about 4 years now. I've been drinking it like every day since then. I started by only drinking it as an usucha, so just the matcha powder with hot water, but now I like to drink it as a latte. But when I first started, I didn't even use any of the like tools that I use now. Like I didn't use a bamboo whisk, I didn't sift my matcha. I just used an electric whisk, the little $2 one from IKEA, added some hot water, not boiling, but like hot water to it, and just drank it like that. But yeah, so I've been drinking it for about 4 years. That's because I used to drink coffee before that, but I realized coffee was making me so jittery and anxious. I just didn't feel good drinking coffee, so I knew I wanted to switch to something. So the next best thing that I thought would be matcha. Also because I was already familiar with the taste because my family drank it from time to time growing up. And ever since I switched to matcha, I never went back. I really only started collecting all of these matchas like last year though, because last year in 2024, over the summer, I went to Japan and I had a really good matcha latte. It was from Matcha Stand Maruni in Tsukiji Market. It was really good, very creamy, strong matcha flavor, and it inspired me to try and get my perfect matcha latte ratio at home because I wanted to like recreate the experience that I had there. Because the reason I always made an usucha before and never a latte was because I just couldn't get the ratios right. Every time I tried to make a latte, it was way too watery, not enough matcha flavor, or way too milky. Just something was always wrong with it. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna stick to my usuchas. But after that trip to Japan, I was like, I want to get into matcha. I want to find the one that I love, specifically as a matcha latte. And that kind of kickstarted my whole matcha journey, collecting and trying all of these different matchas. And in terms of matcha taste preferences, I really love nutty matchas. I love umami matchas. I like when they're kind of sweet. I also love when it's creamy and rich, more full-bodied, meaning the taste kind of like lingers in your mouth. I love a good amount of depth and complexity to the flavor as well. But I also like when it's smooth. Like I really don't like grainy matchas, but something that is bold, that has that long-lasting, deep matcha flavor, I love. I don't like a ton of bitterness. I really don't like astringency either. If it's a little bit bitter though, then that's fine. I'm not too particular about the harvest or the cultivars or the color. So as for my usual ratios, I typically like to drink it as a latte. That is my preferred way to drink matcha. But I do also sometimes drink it as an usucha. I do also drink it as a koicha. Actually, I rarely do that. Only when I'm like trying a new matcha for the first time, then I'll try it all three ways: usucha, koicha, and a latte. But mostly a latte, and for that I usually do 3 grams of powder with 30 milliliters of water heated to 170 degrees Fahrenheit or 77 Celsius. I am American, so I'm used to Fahrenheit. And I also add 80 milliliters of milk. And my favorite milk is the Califia Farms Barista blend oat milk, just because it doesn't overpower the matcha flavor. It's also the most accessible for me and where I live. But if I drink an usucha, I usually do 2 grams of matcha powder, whisk it with 30 milliliters of water at 170 degrees Fahrenheit, and then I add an extra 70 milliliters just to drink. And for koicha, I usually do 3 grams of powder with 30 milliliters of water at 170 degrees Fahrenheit, and then just have it like that. I don't use any sweetener. I used to always use a little bit of sweetener, like 2 milliliters. But I think if I really want to get the full like experience of the matcha flavor, then I think no sweetener is the way to go, because sweeteners can kind of change the taste of the matcha, so I like to do no sweetener. Before we get into it, I want to mention that this is all just based off of my personal preferences. Everyone has different tastes and preferences, and just because I say no to repurchasing a matcha doesn't mean it's bad. I'm not only going off of just taste or just price, it's like all of these things combined, and sometimes even like brand values. We'll get into that more in the video, but just something to keep in mind. Alright, so I have two that I didn't mention in my short form video, but I just wanted to mention it here because I don't actually have the physical products anymore. But the very first matcha that I like really tried was the Pique Sun Goddess matcha. And I'm looking at my computer because I have like a whole spreadsheet that I made of like all my matcha data basically. So the Pique Sun Goddess matcha, it was gifted. They sent it to me. It came in a box and it had individual serving size packets. So that was interesting. It's good for on the go, but I'm looking on their website and right now I don't even know how much each little individual pack is. I want to say like 1 gram, maybe it's 2 grams. I actually have no idea. I can't even find that info on their website right now, which is really weird. But if it is 1 gram per stick and you get 28, we'll say 28 grams for $58, that's $2.07 per gram. That's very expensive. But if it is 2 grams per packet, then it comes down to $104 per gram, which is more reasonable. It is organic, it is ceremonial grade. I don't know the harvest or cultivars. It is from Kagoshima. It's a US company, but I believe it's Asian owned. But would I repurchase this matcha? No. It was extremely grainy, like the grainiest matcha I've ever tried. The matcha flavor was strong though, don't get me wrong, it was very matcha-y, but it was also very bitter and very astringent. I think maybe if you use this with like flavored drinks, or like if you're making like a strawberry matcha or like one of those like syrupy, more dessert type matchas, then it would be good because then the matcha flavor will really shine through. But alone, like as an usucha, as a latte, it was just way too grainy and astringent and bitter. And then for the next matcha, I also don't have this container because again, I got this a long time ago and I didn't think to keep it. But this is the Chamberlain Coffee Organic Matcha Green Tea Powder. This one was also gifted. You can get it on their website or on Amazon, and it's currently $29.95 for 30 grams, so $1 a gram. It is organic, it is ceremonial, don't know the harvest or cultivars. It is from Shizuoka, Japan. It is a US-based company. Would I repurchase it? No. So it's actually not a bad matcha. Like when I tried it, I had very low expectations, but it was better than I was expecting actually. It was sweet, it was very light-bodied, but it was also very early on in my matcha journey, so I didn't have much experience with other matchas, so maybe that's why I thought it was good. But it's just not something that I would repurchase again. Like I think there are better brands, but would I personally repurchase it? No. And now let's get into the matchas that I talked about in my short form video. I'm gonna kind of go in order of that video. So we're gonna start with Marukyu Koyamaen. This is a brand that pretty much everyone knows and loves if you're into matcha. And let's start off with Aoarashi. I feel like this is one that like everyone tries as a beginner. So this one I actually found from Amazon. This is before there was a shortage, and I got it from Amazon for $24.99 for this 40-gram tin. So it is 62 cents per gram, but on the website it shows that it's 1,720 yen, which is about $11.67 USD. So cheap. So I don't know if this is organic. I think it is, just by the way matcha is created. I feel like most matchas are organic, but just going strictly based off of the info that I could find online or like on the packaging, then I have no idea. But I'm assuming it is organic. It is ceremonial grade. I don't know the harvest, don't know the cultivars. The region is Kyoto. It is a Japanese company. Would I repurchase? No. This one is good. Like I'm glad that I tried it. It was a good beginner matcha, but it's pretty bitter, very light in flavor, and there was like a grainy mouthfeel to this one. It's just like a very basic matcha. There's a lot of better ones out there, but it is really good for the price, but it's also hard to find. I feel like just this brand in general is very hard to find, but if I saw it again, then I wouldn't repurchase. It just didn't offer much in terms of flavor. So next up we have Isuzu. This is also from Marukyu Koyamaen. This one I got at a local Japanese shop called Asakichi in Japantown, San Francisco. So this one I tried a while ago as well. This was like almost a year ago. But I got this one for $23 for 40 grams, so 58 cents per gram. On the website, it's 2,120 yen, or about $14.38. Dang, the conversion rate is so good. I don't know if it's organic. It is ceremonial. I don't know the harvest, don't know the cultivars. It's from Kyoto, Japanese company. Would I repurchase? Yes. Compared to Aoarashi, this one was so much better. It was more medium bodied, which body I learned is kind of like how long the flavor lasts on your tongue after you drink the matcha. So like after you drink it, you know how sometimes the flavor kind of lingers? The longer it lingers, the more full-bodied it is. If you drink it and then the taste kind of just like goes away, then it's more light-bodied. But this one, according to my notes, I kept like a matcha diary in my notes anytime I tried a new matcha. This one I said was more medium-bodied, had a moderate matcha flavor strength. It was slightly bitter, but it was creamy, it was a vibrant green. It wasn't the smoothest, but it was a little umami and had slight astringency. So there was just more to offer with this flavor profile. I remember being really surprised by it when I first tried it because I had never tasted a matcha with that like strength of flavor. It's still not like super strong, but it is a good moderate like matcha flavor that you get. And like if I saw this again, would I pick it up and repurchase it? Yes. And then we have Chigi no Shiro. This one I also got in Japantown, San Francisco, but from a different shop. This shop was called Koshi. I got this one for I think $25 for 40 grams, so 63 cents per gram. It's 2,520 yen or $17.09. Don't know if it's organic. It is ceremonial. Don't know the harvest or the cultivars. Region is Kyoto, Japanese company. Would I repurchase? Yes. This one was slightly bitter. It's a little bit grainy, but it had a strong matcha flavor and it was very creamy. It was very smooth, had this like fragrant like aftertaste aroma to it. I don't know, but the flavor was also very deep and complex to me. I think I even preferred Chigi no Shiro over Isuzu. There was just more complexity to the flavor, which I really enjoyed. So yes, I would repurchase. Now moving on to Ippodo. This is another very popular and beloved matcha brand. They've been around for years, centuries. They are very highly regarded and for a good reason. So we're gonna start off with Horai. As you can see, this is their Horai matcha, but it's actually the same as Sayaka. It's just a different size. Horai is, I think, 20 grams. Yeah. And Sayaka is 40 grams. According to their website, though, they are the same. It's just different sizes, different names, but it's the same matcha. So this one is actually brand new. I just got it in today because I was finally able to catch a restock on their website. So I'll keep this in the frame as well. But yeah, so I actually got the Horai matcha a year ago, I think, on Amazon. I don't think it's on Amazon anymore though, but on their website now, they sell it for $20 for 20 grams, so $1 a gram. It is a bit on the pricier side compared to the other matchas. I pretty much don't know any of the information about it, except that it's from Kyoto and it's a Japanese company. But would I repurchase this matcha? Yes, 1,000 times. I'm so happy that I was able to get my hands on the 40-gram tin because I haven't had this one in like a year. I finished this a year ago and I've been trying to catch a restock or like find it online again, but I haven't been able to. So I'm so happy I finally have it again. I tried it earlier this morning and it was so good, just as good as I remember. Everyone always says that this is the matcha that gets them into matcha, and I get it. It has that strong matcha flavor. This is like my like golden standard matcha, I would say. It's umami, it's a little bit nutty, it's sweet, a little bit vegetal, very minimal bitterness and astringency. It is creamy, medium bodied. There's a lot of depth to the flavor, and it's also a beautiful, vibrant green color. So yes, I would absolutely repurchase. And then I actually have another offering from Ippodo that I didn't mention in my short form video, but I got this at the same time that I repurchased Sayaka. And this one is the Umon matcha. I heard that this one is super umami, and as an umami lover, I was like, I need to try this. So this one is 20 grams, $32 though, so $160 per gram, which is quite pricey. I couldn't find any of the info again, and I actually tried this one this morning as well. Literally right after it got delivered, I was like, I need to try this. And would I repurchase it? No. It is really good, but it is pricey. But it didn't wow me as much as I thought it would. Maybe I had too high expectations and that's my fault. It was very umami. Like on a scale of 1 to 5, it's like a 5 for sure. It's very savory and it is a little bit nutty. A good amount of sweetness as well. A little bit grassy, slightly vegetal. The flavor is also pretty deep and complex. It is a little bit astringent though, but also quite creamy. I would say it's full-bodied so that taste lingers on your tongue after drinking it. It is also a beautiful green color. I think Sayaka is a little bit more yellow than Ummon, but they're both still a very beautiful, vibrant green. It's also a very fine powder, so it's super smooth and creamy. Wow, the smell is super umami. But yeah, I just think it's a little bit too pricey for me, so I wouldn't repurchase it, but it is very delicious. Next, we have Rocky's Matcha. Very trendy, very aesthetically pleasing matcha brand. Love the packaging. This is their Oishi blend, or Oishi. I actually don't know how to pronounce it. If there was another I at the end, would mean delicious or tasty in Japanese. But this one is just Oishi, not Oishi. So I got this one in person in Hawaii. Fun fact, I'm from Hawaii. So I was visiting home one day and there was this little pop-up store called Broome Street General. They're not there anymore, I think, but they used Rocky's Matcha, I believe, for their matcha drinks, and they also sold tins. And I got this one for $36, and this is a 20-gram can, so it's $1.80 per gram. Yikes. The most expensive one so far. Not sure if it's organic. It is ceremonial though. Don't know the harvest. The cultivars are Okumidori, Saemidori, and Yabukita. The region is from Yame. It's a US company, and would I repurchase this one? No. So this one was really weird. After I drank it, there was just like a coating of like powderiness on my tongue, and I did not like that, even though I sifted it. And I've never experienced this with any other matcha. It wasn't quite astringent. Like it wasn't like a dry feeling, or maybe it is. I don't know. It felt a little bit different than astringency. It was just like powder on my tongue, and I was so confused. I haven't seen anybody else talk about this before, but that's my experience, and I did not like that. It was slightly umami though, and the matcha flavor was like, it was there. I would say it's more like light to medium, maybe a little bit more medium bodied, but it also wasn't very sweet, and the flavor just wasn't that complex. And for the price especially, I was like, this is not it. Oh, also, I don't even see it on their website anymore. So I don't know, they like took it off their website. I don't know if they sell this one anymore. But yeah, I wouldn't repurchase this. The Oishi blend is not Oishi, unfortunately. Next up we have their Okumidori. This one I also got from Broome Street, and this one was $28 for 20 grams, so $1.40, also up there in price. Don't know if it's organic. It is ceremonial. Don't know the harvest, but the cultivar is just a single cultivar. Okumidori is from Shizuoka. And would I repurchase this one? No. This one was worse than Oishi in my opinion. It was a lot more astringent, very bitter. It was also slightly umami, but barely, and it was also very light-bodied. The other thing about this that I haven't seen anyone else mention is that there is this like intense tartness to it, like this sour bite after drinking it, both as an usucha and as a latte. It was a little bit toned down as a latte when I added milk, but it was definitely still there. I don't know if I just got a bad batch or something, but I did not enjoy that experience. And again, for the price and the size, I would not repurchase. Lastly, from Rocky's, we have their Hojicha. This one I got for $24, also from Broome Street. But on their website, it's $22. So with that price, and it being 20 grams, it's $1.10 per gram, which for Hojicha is pretty pricey. Usually Hojicha is much cheaper than matcha. I don't know any of the info besides it being from Uji. And would I repurchase? No. Again, this one just was not great in my opinion. The texture was super grainy. It was very astringent, and it was very seaweedy with and without milk. There also wasn't much depth in the flavor. There was a slight chocolatey flavor to it, which I enjoyed, but very slight. And again, for the price, I would not repurchase. Moving on to Naoki Matcha. A lot of people were wondering about my reasonings for this matcha. So this is the Superior Blend Ceremonial Grade Matcha. I got this one off of Amazon, and I got this also like pretty long ago, like a year ago. And when I got it on Amazon, it was $23.99 for 40 grams, so 60 cents per gram. This one is organic, it is ceremonial, first harvest, don't know the cultivars, made in Uji. I don't know if the company is a Japanese or a US company. It might be Japanese with like a US office. Not exactly sure, but would I repurchase? No. This one just didn't have much of that matcha flavor. It was also pretty astringent and bitter. And it was just like very basic. Not much flavor, not much complexity. I just wouldn't buy it again. But I know a lot of people really like this brand and I think even this particular blend. But in the future, I would try something else from Naoki. I've heard good things about their like black tin. I can't remember what it's called, but it's the black tin. I'll put it on screen. I've heard people say that that one is a lot better. It's like a stronger matcha flavor, so I would try that one. And I actually did try another matcha from Naoki. I tried their first spring blend. I don't have the tin because it was a long time ago. That one I also got on Amazon for $25.99 for 40 grams, 65 cents per gram. That one is organic, it is ceremonial, it is first harvest. I don't know the cultivars. It's from Kirishima and Kagoshima, but I wouldn't repurchase that one either. So I tried that one before I started my matcha diary and I couldn't even remember that matcha. It just wasn't memorable. I don't even remember trying this one, but it's in my Amazon order history, so I definitely tried it. So I think it's safe to say that I wouldn't repurchase that one again. So next up we have Nami Matcha. This is their Yame First Harvest Matcha. This one is actually by a YouTuber named Ashley. Her handle, I think, is Your Mom Ashley. So this is her brand and this was gifted to me, but there's no obligation. Anytime that something is gifted, I will still tell you my like full honest opinions on it. Like I'm not being paid to say anything specific about any of these brands that have gifted me their matcha. Like all of this is my 100% real opinion. So this one I finished pretty recently, maybe like 2 months ago, and on their website this goes for $36 for 30 grams, so $120 per gram, a little bit on the pricey side. It doesn't say if it's organic or ceremonial. It does say it's first harvest though. The cultivars are Okumidori and Saemidori, and it is from the Yame region. It is a US company, and would I repurchase this? No. But that doesn't mean that it's not good. There were a few comments that I saw saying like, finally somebody that said no to Nami matcha. But I'm like, this matcha was actually really good. Like I like this matcha. I liked it because it was very nutty. It was a little bit umami. Matchas from Yame tend to be more on the nutty side. So I think one of the Rockies matchas, yeah, the Oishi blend from Rockies is also from Yame, and I did say that that one was a little bit nutty. But yeah, this one is definitely nutty, umami, a little bit sweet, also light-bodied, slightly bitter, slightly astringent, pretty smooth too. But again, I think it's pretty pricey. Flavor-wise though, it is nice and it is good. I do really like the nuttiness of it. But again, the matcha flavor, like it was there. The matcha flavor was there, but it was still on the lighter side. So because it just wasn't as bold as I would like, especially for the price, then I would not repurchase it. I am glad that I got to try it though. Next is Matcha Kari's Organic Barista Ceremonial Matcha. This one I tried earlier this year, like within the first couple of months, and this was also a gift, not from the brand, but it was a Christmas gift from my friend, and I specifically told her to get this one, so she got it for me. And this one was from Amazon. This was $23 for 30 grams, 77 cents per gram. This one is organic, it is ceremonial. I don't know the harvest or the cultivars. It is from the Uji region, and it is a US company. I believe this is the same as matcha.com, so they kind of go by two names, like matcha.com and Matcha Kari. Like I've heard people talk about this brand both ways, but it's the same brand. But would I repurchase this? No. And this one is a very strong no, and I don't think I would repurchase anything from this brand ever. The matcha was very bitter, very astringent, very grassy, not smooth. There was no depth to it. It was like such a light surface level matcha flavor. So just with those reasons alone, I did not like this matcha. I've seen other people rave about matchas from this brand, but I think it's just a different like blend or a different matcha. Like even the packaging is different from this one. I guess I didn't realize it and I thought I was getting the same one that everyone else loved, but I don't think I did. But the other reason I would not repurchase from them ever is because the company is just weird. A few months ago, they were leaving weird and like rude comments on creators' accounts, mainly on TikTok. They got rid of their TikTok account though, so you can't find it anymore. But my friends made a video on like the weird comments, so I will leave their videos. It's on TikTok. I'll leave them linked though in the description box if you want to see more about the weird comments that they were leaving. But some of the comments were like talking about how people were reviewing other matcha brands, but Matcha Kari or matcha.com would type in and say like, oh, you've only tried those brands? Like, you haven't tried our brand yet. Ours is the best. Let us convert you to matcha. And also talking about how their like packaging is better than others, trying to make themselves seem better. Anytime a brand is like kind of putting down another brand, that is just so unprofessional and not needed. Like they're just going around commenting on people's videos saying like, why are you drinking that matcha? You should be drinking matcha.com. We're the best. Like, it's just weird, so I would not support this business. This also came about after I asked my friend for this matcha. Like this was around Christmas time, but this whole comment controversy thing came up a couple months after that. So safe to say I will not be purchasing any more matchas from them. And this is Kanbayashi Shunsho. I have these three and we're gonna start off with Goun no Shiro. So I got this one from Japantown in San Francisco. This is also from a shop called Koshi. They didn't have tins like this, only these like boxes, but I was like, it's fine. So I got this one for $28 for 40 grams, 70 cents per gram. I don't know if this one's organic. It is ceremonial. Don't know the harvest, don't know the cultivars. The region is Kyoto and the company is Japanese. They've also been around for a very long time. And would I repurchase this matcha? Yes. This one, when I first tried it, reminded me of Chigi no Shiro from Marukyu Koyamaen. It was sweet, creamy, had a strong flavor, depth to the flavor as well, a little bit umami, slightly astringent, slightly bitter, slight nuttiness as well, and it was like a medium body richness. So it had a lot of flavor components that I really liked. This one is good as an usucha as well. That's what this label means here. But even as a latte, I thought this was great. So overall, it was just a very good, solid matcha, and I would definitely repurchase this. Now moving on to Zuiho. This one is also from Koshi in Japantown, San Francisco. This one was $32 for 40 grams, 80 cents per gram. Don't know if it's organic. It is ceremonial. Don't know the harvest. Don't know the cultivars. The region is Kyoto. Would I repurchase? Yes. Again, this one had a really nice strong flavor. It was nutty, it was umami, it was sweet. There was this like vibrancy to the matcha flavor. It wasn't bitter, it was creamy. It's also made for koicha, so thick tea. So I did try it as a thick tea and it was so good. This was the matcha that opened my eyes to how good koicha can be when you find the right matcha for it. Because before, I never really cared for koicha because the ones that I've tried before were like too bitter, too astringent, too grassy, but this one was like none of those things. It was so sweet and creamy, like not bitter, not grassy, not astringent. It was really good. It was also very rich and like full-bodied. The flavor really lasted on your tongue after drinking it. So yeah, it was a great experience. I do wish I transferred this to like an airtight container though, because I kept it in this little baggie this entire time and I still have a little bit left, but it just doesn't taste the same as when I first tried it. Like the like strong matcha flavor just isn't there anymore and it's kind of oxidized. Like the color is not as vibrant anymore, the flavors just aren't as strong anymore. So yeah, I mean, it is a little bit on the pricier end, but if I saw this again, I would repurchase. And lastly, by Kanbayashi Shunsho, we have Mikazuki no Shiro. So this one I actually found in person at the Uji store. So I walked in and I asked the sales associate which one she recommends, and she recommended this one. So I paid 1,700 yen for this one, or $11.56. Such a good deal. And this is 40 grams, so 29 cents per gram. I don't know if it's organic. It is ceremonial. Don't know the harvest. Don't know the cultivars. The region is Kyoto. Would I repurchase? Yes, this one is really good. It's a nice green color. It is very savory and very umami. It is a little bit buttery. It's not grassy, not that bitter. It's creamy. It's a little bit astringent. It's a little bit punchy though. Like the flavor definitely hits you, but then it kind of just fades away. So I would say it's a little more like light to medium bodied, but that bold flavor is definitely there. I've looked online and it's like really hard to find this one, so I don't even know if I would ever have a chance to repurchase this. I haven't seen anybody else even talk about this one, but if I had a chance to repurchase it, I would. I don't know how much it would be if like an American retailer were to sell this. Like if I were to see this at the store in Japantown, I have no idea how much they would sell it for. Definitely more than $11.56 though. But like for the price that I paid in Japan, it is so good. So for Kanbayashi Shunsho, I feel like I've seen so many people online talk about how this brand is like very light, like the flavors are too light for lattes. And I know most people like to drink their matcha as a latte, me too, but I definitely don't feel that way about these. I don't know if it's just with those matchas that other people have tried, like with Ayanomori, Biwa no Shiro. Those are the more popular matchas from this brand. And I think those are more like light-bodied. Like the flavor of those are not as bold or as strong. But I haven't tried those, so I don't know how they compare to these. But so far, with my experience with Kanbayashi Shunsho, I love it, and it's one of my favorite brands right now. I also wonder what ratios those people are using, because I feel like my ratio definitely is more heavy on the matcha and I don't use that much water or milk. Most of the people that have tried my ratio tell me that it's more on the strong side, and I do use a scale to measure my matchas every time because I like that consistency. I like making sure that I'm using the same amount of matcha and water and milk every time, especially when I'm doing reviews, because if I don't make sure that I have that consistency, then I feel like it's not a fair review and it's not a fair comparison. So maybe I'll try to get my hands on one of the more popular Kanbayashi Shunsho matchas and try to compare them to these, because yeah, I love this brand and I would highly recommend this brand and would definitely repurchase all of these. Next up is Mizuba Tea Co.'s Daily Matcha. So this one I got directly from their website. This was $25 for 40 grams, 63 cents per gram. I don't know if it's organic, it is ceremonial, don't know the harvest, don't know the cultivars. The region is Uji and it is a US company. And would I repurchase this? I don't know, maybe? Obviously, my answer is yes, because I already have repurchased it 4 times. No, I did not purchase these all at once. It was over the course of like 6 to 7 months. And yes, these are all empty. So I actually purchased all of these in person at this store called Daily Whisk on Oahu. I believe they used to use this Mizuba matcha for their matcha drinks, and it was so good that I decided to, actually my friend first gifted me 1 can, and I was like, wow, it is really good. So let me get another, because, you know, I liked the matcha drink from Daily Whisk so much that I was like, okay, if I like it, then I must like this matcha powder. So I got the matcha powder and it was super good. And then I got another and another and another. So why do I like this so much? I love it because it is umami, it is sweet. It is slightly bitter, but I feel like it works. Like it's very balanced out. It's a very balanced matcha. It does say it's buttery and mellow and smooth on the packaging as well. And I do think it is all of those things. It is on the more mellow side, but that's why it's a great everyday matcha. This is something that you can drink every day that's not going to be like too in your face or like too bold. It's like that perfect middle ground. Here's the color of the matcha. It's a little bit more yellow-green, but still quite vibrant. I should also disclose that I am an affiliate of this brand. I just recently became an affiliate because I love it so much. I repurchased all of these and then I saw that the brand has like an affiliate program, so I of course signed up for it. So I was accepted and I am an affiliate, which means that I do earn commission when people purchase this matcha through my link. But I wouldn't be affiliated with them and I wouldn't be part of their affiliate program if I didn't love the matcha. And I think it's safe to say that this is like my favorite matcha. Also because of the accessibility, the availability. I think it has gone out of stock a few times that I've seen, but for the most part, it is like always available, I would repurchase and I would recommend. Next we have Horii Shichimeien. We will start off with Uji Mukashi. This one I picked up at their Uji store. This one was 1,814 yen or $12.34. This one is a 30-gram tin, so 41 cents per gram. I don't know any of the details about this matcha, couldn't find anything about it online. Packaging doesn't say anything either, but I do know the region is Kyoto. It is a Japanese company. Would I repurchase this? Yes. So this one had a very fresh taste, slight grassiness, a little bit floral, a little bit seaweedy, slightly nutty, a little bit astringent, a little bit sweet. It wasn't umami though, but this one was extra creamy. Like, it was a very fine powder, which I think helped add to the creaminess. I did feel like the flavor was quite complex and it did have like a medium body to it, so a little bit more of a moderate richness. So there were a lot of things going on with this matcha, but it was a really nice experience. A lot of depth to the flavor, which I really enjoyed. A nice green color. So yeah, it's a very good matcha. The only thing is it's really hard to find. Even the website, I don't know if they ever do restocks, and I don't know if there's any official like authorized resellers of Horii Shichimeien. I have no idea if I'll ever be able to find this again, but if I did, I would repurchase. And then moving on to Agata no Shiro. This one I also found at the same time as that one at the Uji store. I got this for 2,376 yen or $16.15 for 30 grams, which is 54 cents per gram. Don't know any of the information again, but it is from Kyoto. And would I repurchase? Also yes. This one had some slight nuttiness, a little bit vegetal. It had a more lighter body compared to Uji Mukashi. It was still sweet, creamy, not bitter, slightly astringent, but the flavor I felt like was not as complex as Uji Mukashi, which was interesting because it is pricier, but it is still a good matcha on its own, like by itself. I really enjoyed it. It was a nice experience. That matcha flavor was definitely there. Yeah, I would definitely repurchase this if I ever was able to find it again. Next up, we have Hatoya. This is a popular brand of matcha. I think in Tokyo they have a few stores as well as Kyoto, and they're known for their very aesthetic like matcha drinks with like the ice cream. And I've never tried their drinks before, but my friend gifted me this bag because she went to Japan. So because of that, I don't know the price. And I also looked this up. It says it's their hand-picked matcha number 3. Here's what the details say on the back of the package. So I tried Googling it, but I couldn't find any info about this particular matcha. This is a 20-gram bag though. The region is Kyoto and it is a Japanese brand. But if I saw this and I had the chance to repurchase it, would I? Yes. Oh my gosh. This one, when I tried it, I was shocked. It is super nutty and I love nutty matchas, like I said in the beginning. It was very bold, had a very strong matcha flavor. It was very full-bodied and rich, like the flavor really lingered. It was super creamy and it was just like none of the other things, like no grassiness, no bitterness, no astringency. And it's not like those things are bad. It's just I don't prefer those things. And I'm so sad that it's such a small bag because I am almost done with it. I only have like a little bit left, but it is such a vibrant green color. Oh, it smells so nutty. And it makes me really want to go back to Japan and try some of their drinks like in person. Yeah, this one was super good and I would definitely repurchase. Next up, we have Zenkyu Matcha. This one was gifted to me, so thank you so much to them. Thank you to any of the brands that sent me matcha and any of my friends that gifted me matcha. So for the signature blend, this is a 25-gram bag and it is $44, so $1.76 per gram. Kind of pricey. I don't know if it's organic. It is ceremonial. It is first harvest. The cultivars are Okumidori, Samidori, and others. I don't know why they put others. Like, I don't know if they just don't know or don't want to say, but I thought that was a little weird. But the region is Uji. It is a Japanese company. And would I repurchase this? No. In my video, in my short form video, I did say yes, but after thinking about it a little longer, I think I would have to say no, just because the price, just for my preference, it's a little expensive. But the matcha itself is so good. I was really surprised by this one actually, because I've seen a lot of other matcha creators talk about this brand because they have sent their products to a lot of creators, and every single review that I saw was like raving about this, and I was like getting a little skeptical about it, to be honest. But then I tried it and I was like, wait a second, this is actually really good. And this is what it looks like. Kind of hard to tell, but it is a very bright, vibrant green. It is super bold, super nutty, super umami. It is very full-bodied, like that flavor lingers. Probably the most full-bodied matcha out of my collection. It is also very sweet. If you like a sweet matcha, this will be it. It is also very creamy, and it is not bitter or astringent at all. It's also very smooth. The smell is also really interesting. It smells very nutty, exactly like pistachios, which is funny because I'm actually allergic to pistachios. I'm allergic to tree nuts actually. Pistachios, pecans, walnuts, and cashews, a little bit of macadamia nuts as well. But I actually used to love pistachios when I was a kid. I would eat them even though I was allergic to them and just like suffer the consequences because my throat and mouth would just get itchy. It's not like I stopped breathing, so it's not that severe of an allergy, but I am still allergic, you know? So I love pistachios and I love nutty matchas even though I'm allergic to nuts. And this one is very nutty and I really love the flavor of this one. I do recommend this matcha if you want something very special, like a really special occasion matcha. I don't think this is for like every day because it is quite like bold. It might be a little too much for every day. I don't see myself personally repurchasing it, but for a really nice like treat yourself matcha, I think this would be really nice. Now let's talk about their Uji Latte blend. This is a 50-gram bag for $44, so 88 cents per gram. Still a little bit up there, but not too bad. I don't know if it's organic. It is ceremonial. It is first harvest. The cultivars are again Okumidori, Samidori, and others. The region is Uji. And would I repurchase this? Yes, I would actually repurchase this one. So this one I felt like is very similar to their signature blend. Not as bold. It is still quite bold. I would say medium bodied. It doesn't linger as long as the signature, but it definitely does have that little bit of lingeringness. I'm kind of losing my mind. This has been a very long video. It is still a bit nutty. It is sweet and creamy. There was some slight bitterness and astringency, but it gets very balanced out with the milk. And there was like a slightly vegetal aftertaste. I wouldn't say it's as smooth as the signature blend, but you know, on its own, like just by itself, it is still smooth. So yeah, this was like a really good matcha, very sweet. Again, if you like sweet matchas, then this brand will probably be your new go-to. It is a bit umami as well. So again, it has a lot of notes that I personally really like. And like for the value that you get, I think it's really good and I would definitely repurchase this. Also, they did give me a discount code. You can use Misheru10 on their website and you'll get, I think, 10% off your order. I don't get any commission from this though, so it's just for you guys and for your own benefit if you want a little discount. Again, this was gifted, but my opinions are completely my own. Now we have Jade Leaf Matcha. This is like a very entry-level brand, I feel like, one that a lot of people start out trying. So we'll start off with their Organic Ceremonial Barista Edition. So this one I got from Amazon. This is a 100-gram tin and I got it for $35.96. So 36 cents per gram. Yes, it's organic. Yes, it's ceremonial. It is first harvest. The cultivars are Okumidori, Komakage, and Yabukita. The region is from Uji and Kagoshima. The company, I believe, originated in Kyoto and then now has offices in Seattle. Not exactly sure. But would I repurchase this? No. When I was talking about my matcha journey and how I would just make matcha with my electric whisk and just drink it with hot water, this is the matcha that I would use. Because this one, I actually don't think it needs to be sifted. Like, it wasn't clumpy, even though I didn't sift it. So I really liked it for that reason, and it was pretty smooth actually, but there is not much to offer in terms of flavor with this one. Like, it's a very light flavor. It is quite bitter. The color is like a very yellow green. It is a bit astringent as well. It's not sweet. There's not much complexity to it. I would say it's like a more lower quality matcha, especially compared to like the Zenkyu matchas. I feel like these are very high quality, but I have repurchased it. Like, I have purchased this many times actually. That's why I got the huge tin, the 100-gram tin, because I was purchasing the smaller like 30-gram tins before, but I repurchased that 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So since I repurchased it so much, I was like, let me just get the larger tin. But at the time that I purchased this, that's when I also started to try other matchas and branch out. So then this one just got left behind. So I guess, yes, I have repurchased it, but now would I repurchase it? No. But now we have their Organic Ceremonial Tea House Edition. This one I also got on Amazon. This is a 30-gram tin. I got it for $24.99, so 83 cents per gram. It is organic, it is ceremonial, it is first harvest. The cultivars are Okumidori, Kanayamidori, Sayamakaori, Samidori, and Yabukita. The region is from Uji and Kagoshima. And would I repurchase this one? No. In my short form, I think I did say yes to repurchasing, but now that I'm looking at it, for the price, I feel like it's a little pricey for what it is. I think I said yes before because of the availability, the accessibility, like it's on Amazon, so you know, it's quite accessible. And I thought it would be good for beginners. There was just a little bit more in terms of like the flavor profile compared to the Barista edition. Like this one is still light-bodied, but it was actually very creamy when I tried it, which was surprising, but it was astringent and there wasn't too much depth in the flavor. Like compared to the Barista edition, yes, there was more going on, but on its own, there still wasn't that much complexity. And especially now looking at like the price, yeah, actually I think I changed my answer. I don't think I would repurchase this one. Now moving on, we have this one by Daylight Matcha. This is their Morning Light Matcha. So this one was gifted to me. The owner reached out and sent it to me, but on their website it goes for $35 for 30 grams, so $1.17. A little bit on the pricey side. I don't know if it's organic. It is ceremonial though. It is first harvest. The cultivars are Okumidori and Yabukita. It is from the Uji region and it is US based. The owner is Japanese. She is from Japan, was born and raised there, but she now lives in the US. And would I repurchase this one? Yes. I have never experienced a matcha that was this like refreshing. There was just this like quality about it, like the mouth feel or like something about it when I drank it. It was just so refreshing. Like I had a glass of ice water. I don't know how to describe it because I haven't experienced it with any other matcha before. It was like slightly bitter, slightly grassy. It was a little bit floral. Yeah, like it is a nice bright green color, but it wasn't astringent. There was a little bit of nuttiness and it was creamy, medium bodied, so the flavor kind of lingers on your tongue. But yeah, the thing that I really loved was that it was so refreshing, and like the name Morning Light, I feel like fits so perfectly because it really is something that like wakes you up in the morning. So yeah, it is a little bit pricey, but if you want to support like a small business, Japanese owned, and the flavor profile that I mentioned interests you, then I would definitely recommend this. And personally, I would also repurchase this. Next, we have Tsujiri. So I have two from them. Let's start off with Tsujimidori. So I got this one at the Uji store. This one I got for 1,069 yen or $7.27 for 30 grams. So 24 cents per gram. So inexpensive. I don't know if it's organic, but it is ceremonial. Don't know the harvest or the cultivar. The region is Uji. It is a Japanese company. Would I repurchase this one? No. So this one had a very light flavor, like super light, and it was just like a very basic matcha. Like it was bitter, it was tart, it had that like sourness in the aftertaste that I don't really like, kind of like the Rockies Okumidori matcha, but not as bad as this one. And it was astringent, it was vegetal and grassy. It's more of a yellowish green, but it just like lacked depth in the flavor. I would say it is tea forward though, but again, because the flavor was so light, there wasn't too much going on with this one. So no, I wouldn't repurchase. Now moving on to Kyo Mukashi. This one was also from the Uji store. I got it for 1,650 yen or $11.22 for 30 grams or 37 cents per gram. Not sure if it's organic. It is ceremonial. Don't know the harvest, don't know the cultivars. The region is Uji, but would I repurchase this one? Yes. Compared to Tsujimidori, I much rather prefer Kyo Mukashi. This one is a much more vibrant green. Oh, it's very grassy. It smells nutty and umami too though, which makes sense because I did say that it is umami. It is a little bit nutty. It's creamy. It's medium bodied. It's kind of punchy, a little bitter, a little astringent, a little grassy, slightly grainy. I wouldn't say it's sweet, but because of all that, the flavor is like very complex, which I appreciate, and it was just a nice drinking experience. But again, I feel like this brand is really hard to find, so between the two, I would definitely recommend Kyo Mukashi. Next is Junbi Matcha. This is their daily ceremonial matcha. So this one was actually gifted. They invited me to their grand opening of their new San Francisco store. They just opened one and I got to make drinks with them. I mentioned this in like a previous vlog, so you can go watch that whole experience. It was really fun. And they also gifted me this tin of matcha, which we also used in their drinks. And I believe this is what they use in like all of their matcha drinks. You can also get it on their website, although I think it's out of stock right now. But it is 30 grams for $33, so $1.10. I don't know if it's organic, but it is ceremonial. Don't know the harvest, don't know the cultivars, the region. It says Japan, but I think more specifically it's Uji. It is a US company, but it is Asian owned. And would I repurchase this matcha? Yes, I would. And I'm not just saying that because it was gifted. I'm not just saying that because they invited me to their store. But this one I think would be great for if you're making like flavored drinks. Strawberry matchas, mango matchas, like anything where you have like a strong flavored syrup or something, or these like, you know, more fancy dessert type drinks. Because the matcha flavor is definitely there. It has a strong matcha flavor. Here's what this one looks like. It's a little bit duller, a little bit more yellow green. It is grassy, it is vegetal, it is a little bitter and astringent, but it is also a little umami. There's not much depth to the flavor though. Like it is kind of just like surface level matcha, but I think because that matcha flavor just really stands out, then I think it'd be great for those flavored drinks because then you'll still be able to taste the matcha, which also makes sense because they sell a lot of like flavored drinks and things like lychee matcha latte, guava matcha latte, things like that. And with those types of desserty drinks, sometimes the matcha flavor gets drowned out, it gets lost very easily, but with that grassiness, a little bit of bitterness, then the matcha flavor will stand out even against all those other flavors. So if I were making a lot of drinks like that, definitely this matcha would be great for that. Now we have Littlefoot Matcha. This is their Yabukita organic ceremonial grade matcha. This one was gifted to me as well. You can get it on their website though. Actually, it's sold out right now, but it goes for $32 for 30 grams, so $1.07 per gram. It is organic, it is ceremonial, first harvest, Yabukita cultivar from the Shizuoka region. It is a US company, and would I repurchase this matcha? No. In my video, I said yes, but I'm changing my answer because I did try it again recently and it just wasn't as like complex as I remember. Like it's pretty light, pretty grassy and vegetal. It's also very punchy. Like that matcha flavor is quite bold at the start, but then very quickly goes away. It is a bit bitter. There wasn't much depth to it. And overall, it was just a very light matcha flavor. The other thing that I don't think is that big of a deal, but it did kind of leave a bad taste in my mouth was that in the video that I posted to Instagram of me saying yes or no to these matchas, someone left a comment about Nami matcha and I said no to repurchasing this matcha, and somebody commented and said, finally someone that said no to Nami matcha. So tired of seeing these paid influencers raving about it. So it's kind of taking a jab at Nami matcha, kind of saying like all these influencers are hyping up their matcha, even though I guess this person doesn't think it's as good as people say it is. But then the owner of Littlefoot Matcha comments back from the brand page and says, the influencer is going so hard, I was almost convinced to buy it. And they also liked the other person's comment. I personally thought it was a little unprofessional since it kind of feels like they're taking a jab at another matcha brand. And it just seemed to me like they were agreeing that all the positive reviews about Nami matcha were just from paid marketing. So it came across as like competitive, unprofessional, unnecessary, especially coming from the brand account. So I did reach out to the owner about it because we had been talking and developing our own personal relationship actually, and let them know about my concerns. And they were actually very thoughtful and they did apologize. They said that they totally didn't mean it as a jab to their brand and that they would be more thoughtful about their comments moving forward. So I thought that was a nice response and I'm glad They, you know, were understanding of my feelings. They apologized and took responsibility. But still, you know, like for them to do something like this in the first place was just like kind of questionable to me. I don't think it's as bad as what matcha.com has done, but it was still just something that I personally was a little bit uncomfortable with. But again, I'm just sharing my experience. Next up is this matcha by Kuwahara Zensuke. This is the Misono no Shiro matcha, and this was also gifted to me, but from a family member. They found this at Don Quijote. I can't remember exactly where. It was Tokyo or Osaka, but it's from Don Quijote, which I was very surprised about. But this is a 40-gram tin. I don't know the price, unfortunately, but it is organic. It is ceremonial. Don't know the harvest. The cultivars are Asahi, Samidori, Uji Kari, Goko, and Hoshun. I don't know the region, but the company is Japanese. If I can find this matcha again, would I repurchase it? Yes. This matcha really surprised me. My cousin got it for me, and when she told me it was from Don Quijote, I was like, what? Because first of all, it is a really nice green color. Oh, it just smells so good, so fresh, sweet. The taste too is so good. It was nutty, had a very strong matcha flavor, had a medium body, medium richness. It was sweet just on its own. When I was in Japan recently, like earlier this year, I went to Don Quijote's, like many Don Quijote's, to try and find this matcha again, and I could not find any. This is the label info on the back. I had to Google translate this, and it actually does say down here Kuwahara Zensuke Shoten, which I didn't realize that was like the brand name before, but on here it says Misono no Shiro. But yeah, I can't find this on like any website or anything, so I don't know where you can repurchase this, which is really sad because I love this so much and I'm like really savoring it. Like I don't want to finish it because it is really good. So yeah, try check Don Quijote if you're in Japan to see if you can get one of these. And if you do, get one. And now we have this one by Matcha-aru. I think that's how you pronounce it. But on their website, you can see in Japanese, it says Matcha-aru, which means, do you have matcha in Japanese? So it's not like matcha-aru. It's supposed to be matcha-aru. Also in Japanese, there's no L sound, so they pronounce L's like R's. So if you were to say the English name matcha-aru in a Japanese way, it would sound more like matcha-aru. Hopefully that makes sense. So I got this one from Amazon. I just got this one the other day actually, mainly because of the packaging. Like I'm a sucker for checkered patterns. I have a checkered coaster and a checkered chawan. So this is a 40-gram tin. I got it for $27.99, 70 cents per gram. This is their gold matcha. It is organic, it is ceremonial, first harvest, don't know the cultivars, don't know the region, it just says Japan. The company is a Japanese owner, but I believe US based. And would I repurchase this? Yes. So this one was a little bit nutty, slightly umami. It was on the sweeter side, a little bit of grassiness. There wasn't much depth in the flavor though. Like it was a little more one-dimensional, but it was creamy. It was also smooth, but overall the profile was something that I did enjoy, and it is accessible and available right now on Amazon. So again, if you want something that's available now on Amazon, then yeah, I would recommend this one. Plus you get a cute little tin afterwards that you can repurpose when you finish it. Now moving on to Hojicha. This one is by Hohohojicha. This is their premium Hojicha powder. I got this one at their Uji store. This one was 890 yen, so only about $6.05 for 30 grams, so 20 cents per gram. Very inexpensive. I don't know any of the information about this, but the company is Japanese. Would I repurchase this one? No. Okay, so initially this one was like not too bad, but the more that I kept drinking it and kept trying to like it, I just realized it's just not my thing. The texture was really grainy. The roasted flavor was there, but there just wasn't much of it. It's very light-bodied. It's slightly sweet, but also very astringent. It also has that like seaweedy smell and taste. The color is pretty nice though. Like it's a medium brown. The texture, it was just too grainy, and I don't know if that's just how Hojicha is. Like the Rockies Hojicha was also very grainy, but I've had Hojicha lattes. Like I went to Tully's in Japan and I tried their Hojicha latte and it was so good and not grainy. This one, yeah, I don't know. It's mainly a texture thing. I didn't get to try their like hojicha desserts or drinks because they do have a store where they sell like hojicha drinks and desserts, but I only was able to pick up the powder because I didn't have time. So I wish I could go back and like try those because people say that their drinks and desserts are really good. So no, I wouldn't repurchase this one. And lastly, this is the last one of this video, but this one is a Hojicha powder from Don Quijote. This is what the front looks like, and this is the back label info. So the seller on the label here actually says Kikusho Nagomi, but I did find this at Don Quijote. This one was 1,097 yen, or about $7.46 for 80 grams. So 9 cents per gram. I think this is the cheapest out of the entire list. I don't know any of the info. I just know the company is Japanese. And would I repurchase this one? No. The smell is very seaweedy, but also grassy at the same time. And the flavor is also very seaweedy, very grainy again, very bitter, and also just a very light flavor. Like there's not much flavor to it. And here's what the powder looks like. Also, I had such high hopes because of this matcha that was also from Don Quijote. So I was like, let me try this Hojicha powder from Don Quijote. No, I don't like this, and I have 80 grams of it. Anybody want to come over and try some hojicha? I'll give you this whole bag. So yeah, I would not recommend. So here's my list of all the matchas I mentioned in order and whether I said I would repurchase them or not. Now is the time to screenshot if you'd like. And then this is my list of all my yeses. I also ranked them in order based on my overall feelings towards them. And remember, this is all just my personal opinion. So that was my review of my entire matcha collection. How many was that? That was like over 30. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it or found it helpful in any way. Links and more info will be in the description box. Please make sure to check that. If you have any other questions, leave them in the comments. I'll try to get back to you. And if you have any other suggestions for matcha content ideas or matchas that you want to see me try and review, let me know in the comments as well. Please subscribe if you want to see more matcha content. Share this video as well to anybody you think will find this helpful. And I'm gonna go not speak for the next like 5 days because my throat really hurts. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye.